Designed by Igor Sikorsky, the Bolshoi Baltisky, or more well known by its later name, the Russky Vityaz, was a large four-engine biplane. Built in May of 1913, the Russky Vityaz, or Russian Knight, was the first four-engine biplane in the world. At the time, the maximum weight that any contemporary aircraft could carry was 600 kilograms, or 1,300 pounds. This record was established by the French pilot Ducis. Sikorsky projected that his design would be capable of carrying at least 1,000 kilograms, almost double Ducis's record, numbers which were unheard of at the time. The first aerial test of the Vityaz was conducted on May 10th and proved to be a success. It was established that the aircraft could reliably leave the ground after a 700-foot takeoff run, and was also found that aircraft walking around on board did not destabilize the aircraft. At the time, most people believed that such an aircraft was ridiculous. The news of the first flight was passed over as being a hoax, and it was proclaimed that such an aircraft would be unable to leave the ground due to its extreme dimensions. However, this was soon disproved when the Vityaz made its second flight soon afterwards. The Vityaz's design was very straightforward. It was a sesquiplane, with its upper wing having a span of 91 feet 10 inches, and its lower wing having a span of 65 feet 7 inches. The wings each had two spars and were rectangular in shape, with the vertical distance between the two wings being approximately 8 feet. The upper wing ailerons provided stability for the aircraft. The fuselage was made from a girder section covered in plywood sheets and was 65 feet 7 inches in length. Inside the cabin, there was room for 8 passengers. The cockpit had dual control columns, and behind the cabins there was a storage room for spare parts. Forward of the cockpit, there was a small deck, which was equipped with a searchlight and a machine gun. The Vityaz could carry over 1,000 kilograms in payload. It was powered by 4 Argus AS-1 4-cylinder water-cooled piston inline engines, each outputting a total of 100 horsepower, and these allowed it to reach a service ceiling of 2,000 feet at a maximum speed of 56 miles per hour, with a maximum range of 110 miles. The Vityaz went through several iterations. First, it was simply known as Le Grand, when it possessed only 2 engines. Then its number of engines was increased to 4, with them being placed in tandem pairs on either side of the fuselage. That version was known as the Bolshoi Baltisky, or Great Baltic. The final iteration, with all 4 engines pointing forward mounted on the lower wing, was known as the Russky Vityaz, or Russian Knight. As noted by Sikorsky, in order to keep the engines close to the center line, they were mounted in 2 tandem groups on both sides of the fuselage. This was done chiefly to protect the plane from the danger of asymmetrical thrust if one of the outer engines should stop. The concern was later proved unnecessary, however, as the Vityaz was never in an event of this happening. It was then discovered that the arrangement of the engines actually hindered the plane, decreasing takeoff and climb performance as the propellers, which were 2-bladed fixed-pitch wooden propellers, proved too inefficient in this configuration. Sikorsky altered the design in June later that year, placing all 4 engines in the tractor configuration. During test flights, it was found that the rudder was actually strong enough to hold the plane against both engines stopped on one side, which eliminated the need for any other engine placement completely. The redesign also resulted in substantially improved takeoff performance and a better climb rate. The Vityaz conducted 53 flights in its lifetime. However, sources disagree on the Vityaz's most notable flight, with some claiming a flight time of 1 hour and 54 minutes with 8 on board, and others claiming a flight of 1 hour and just 4 minutes with 7. However, all of this would quickly be brought to a close, as the Vityaz would soon be destroyed, as while parked on a runway on the 23rd of June, it was crushed by the engine of a Morane-Saulnier single-seat biplane, and was damaged severely. But when Igor Sikorsky viewed the damage, he decided not to fix the Vityaz, but moved on to his next idea, the Ilya Muromets.